Today, we're going to explore secret rooms in season 2, episode 19 of Patroma Therapy. We're glad you can be with us, and we hope you enjoy taking a look at the cover shot. This is a beautiful, sort of pink house that I drive by sometimes in Dallas. It has colorful flags and some beautiful statuary. There's several different levels. I see in kind of a tall, way up high, a little attic. I think attics and basements and garages are kinds of secret rooms. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm thinking of secrets rooms, and it makes me think whenever I book into hotel, I always think if they have this, kind of, it's not always the case, but some hotels, they have this secret swanky room they don't advertise, and I always think if I can have it, but it's always no, no. I don't know what the reason is. Probably reserved for VIPs and who want to feel that
Well,
they're getting something extra. That's what I feel. That's how I feel. Like, I feel today like I'm getting something extra.
I think in terms of getting that secret special room, you have to own it. You have to like walk up to the desk, and if you're wearing a suit, and if you're owning the suit, and you like just kind of lean into them, that might be persuasive. Have you tried that?
No, I didn't, but I'm sure I will. Have you?
Yes, because I'm always in everybody's face. I feel that if I'm like leaning into it and like impressing them with how important I am, and that I always do crazy stuff like that. Once I went to this beautiful hotel. It was at Love Field here in Dallas. There was a beautiful Sheraton, or maybe it was a Hilton, right across from the airport. And actually, I was having my apartment. Uh, the apartment I was living in was being cleaned for some fleas, and they asked us to leave for the weekend, for the day. And so I decided, well, I'm just going to go check into a hotel and enjoy myself. So I went to this hotel, and this was, I don't know, 5 years ago, and they were just beginning a Facebook account with this hotel. And I just walked up to the desk and I just leaned on the desk and just like smiled at the guy. And I said, I want a room. And he asked me how long. I said, well, I don't know. It depends on how much fun I'm having.
Uh,
And then
fun.
I said, do you have any specials? He said, well, actually, we're doing a Facebook special. I go, I don't use Facebook. And then he gave me like a $350 a night room for $79. It was amazing. And it included three meals,
Nice.
and
Hey,
they had a gym.
Jim. Hey, do you?
Yeah, like a workout
I'm
room.
sure you read the news that Sean Connery passed away, and he was like number one James Bond villain. And I remember his apartment had this secret room hidden behind wall that opens at the push of a button, and I somehow
Oh
remember that.
yeah. Yes, that's kind of cool, just knowing that there's this secret place you can escape to, or maybe you could invite a woman to, or have a drink with a friend. I know that in Dallas we have the Dallas Arboretum, which is sitting on 66 acres of land on White Rock Lake. And it was originally a dairy farm until Mr. DeGoye, uh, who was in the oil and gas business, decided to buy the property. He turned it from a dairy farm into a beautiful mansion. And now, people can go through the mansion and go through the arboretum and tour the grounds. And in the library of the mansion, there are some bookcases that, if you know where to press, the bookcases open up into secret rooms. And that's fun.
Oh,
Finding and knowing about secret rooms is muy importante.
I remember we also spoke about Queen Nefertiti a while ago, and when you think of Egypt, I always like remember series of hidden chambers at their old like, 3,000 year tomb of Tutankhamun, um, and like the final resting place. These pyramids they are full of hidden chambers. I always think if I always like monitor if they found something new, some new chamber. If they do, what's in it?
Well, I think the Mayans also are into that. A lot of the Mayan pyramids uh, down Belize and in Yucatan, they many of some of them are overgrown with the jungle, and then some of them are explored and excavated, uh, and they will go in there, and some archaeologists, British or Germans, or will go in there and like dig around. They'll publish their reports. Then, like a couple of years later, it's like boom, someone else found a secret room inside the secret pyramid that was buried in the secret forest. So, I mean, this is not only something that's in the movies and films, but it's part of who we are as human beings.
Oh,
I'm excited to be in petroma therapy today.
why?
Why? I don't know. I feel great. I mean, I'm
What do you mean?
surprised that I feel so
What
good.
do
I
you mean?
mean,
What do you mean? Why?
why?
No, it's like if you'd ask me back, what do you mean why? And I had to come up with a
we,
reason what I meant, and you'd in the meantime collect yourself and like come up with an answer. No, I'm just
yeah,
messing with
well,
you. I'm just messing with you.
well, that's what happens in petroma therapy, and we appreciate our subscribers who make a few comments and continue to listen. Um, I'm excited today because there's so many ways we can go. I feel kind of like Alice in Wonderland when she's like at the crossroads there with the White Rabbit trying to decide to go left or right. Another interior room that I think about is it is a religious piece of writing called The Interior Castle by Teresa of Avila, and it is about the spiritual journey. And at the of course, in the spiritual journey is the desire for union with God, or the mystical union. And she speaks about going into your interior room.
Oh.
So I know that some people meditate, some people pray, some people sit and look at a candle, but I think there's some peace on the inside of us. There's not a lot of peace out there in the world these days.
Speaking of which, every secret room can be considered some kind of a man cave, right? Where men go in to rest, to recover, to regenerate. I don't know what else.
Well, unless you're a woman, it's not a man cave, then it's a woe man cave. No, yeah. No, I get you. I think the concept of a man cave has existed for a long time. I know that my grandfather, who lived in San Antonio, Texas, he had his territory, which was a detached garage from the main house. And then my grandmother kind of ruled the house. She was in charge of the cooking, the cleaning, the arrangement of the furniture, hosting guests, and everything. But when my grandfather wanted to escape from the world of responsibilities, he would go into his garage, which was set up to be like a man cave. He had a little refrigerator in there with some beer in it, and he had a pin-up calendar of some cool ladies in bathing suits, and he had his tools, and he had a little radio. He listened to some songs, and yeah, I think every man needs a cave.
Yeah, because we men we like being ourselves, right? Not alone, but not alone. Just hey, do you remember we spoke about the pyramids and the towers, and I mentioned Mount Rushmore. I was gonna say that the sculptor who designed the hidden room, or who designed the sculptures on Mount Rushmore, he was tried to build hidden room behind, I guess that was behind Abraham Lincoln's face. But he died before he
Hmm.
managed to finish it, unfortunately. But it's still there. It's not so secret anymore.
Well, especially since we're broadcasting about it. Well, the other thing, there's a lot of stories about curses or bad luck. Like there's bad luck in the stories of Tutankhamun and all the, digging around there. And, there's the film Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I know that there's some mystery about Abraham Lincoln, and how he had a dream foretelling his death, and how he was warned not to go to the movie theater, but he was shot in the movie theater. So there's some different lore and legends around
Hmm.
Abraham Lincoln. So I'm not surprised that whoever designed Mount Rushmore would try to put a secret room behind Lincoln's head.
Hmm.
That
Uh,
that's kind of cool.
but with regard to premonition, I totally agree. Do not open the hidden chamber, right? If you found it, you mentioned Tutankhamun. I'm sure they find new one because they have radar equipment and all these days. But do not open. If you find it, do not open the hidden chamber. I've seen too many mummy movies to realize it doesn't end well.
Well, but the thing about it, I think once you said ships are for sailing, not for staying safely on the shore.
No,
And
no,
if you think of,
that was ships are safer in the harbor, but that's not what ships are made for.
well, I think that the hidden room is there if you think about psychoanalysis and self exploration. We have hidden rooms in ourselves. We don't want to go there because there's dark things there. There's lust, there's anger, there's I'm going to mention anger. I'm mentioning anger 3 times now.
Oh,
I mean, there's parts of ourselves we don't want to look at. Like I don't want to think of myself as an angry person. I don't want to feel mad about things. But these secret rooms are to be explored. I mean, it's human nature to go into the forbidden. I mean,
yeah.
we discussed in season 1, one of the episodes, where does good and evil come from?
Hmm.
Where does sin come from?
Oh. What if secret room, no one knows about it because it's secret, and then whoever built it just died, and the room stays secret. But the one who built it, he wrote something on it 3,000 years ago, right? But nowadays they found it. Let's presume they found it, and they see this message. I remember that someone, I think it was in Roman Empire, they found the Jewish secret room, and the message was found and they didn't understand what it was because it was or Aramaic or in Hebrew graffiti kind of sort. And I think, what if they tried to decipher it? But what if someone just wrote something like David was here? And if today someone's just built a room and write like I don't know, like James was here, and then few letters just because with time just went away, how would they be able to decipher what's written?
Well, because deciphering is part of being human. The Rosetta Stone was a key piece of writing that unlocked, a whole world. So understanding codes and understanding writing. I recently just finished reading The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I did not see the film, a TV version, but I read it, and there's a lot of references in that novel to writing for an audience, secret messages, people spying, wondering if anyone else is going to read this. So, yeah, I mean, I think that writing and secrets are part of being human, and any writing that's done is done with either conscious or unconscious awareness that there will be an audience. Like you and I are writing Patroma Therapy. We kind of hope that maybe someone will read it,
Well, we
right? How do
kind
you
of
feel
writing
about
it
that?
electronically. Imagine that all this electronic equipment someday disappear. I don't know, nuclear blast or something make it unreadable. And the future generation, it will be like huge gap for the past 20 years, whatever the computers come up. And there'll be a huge gap in everything. Like the civilization did not exist because all the electronics, I don't know, disappear. And what we
Or they
had is
melt,
few
yeah, they
books.
melt, yeah, they melt down. But the thing is, there's always writing. There's always something on a stone that's buried in a hill that someone else will be digging around having a picnic and they'll see a stone. So I think I'm more positive. I like the idea of, like, the end of the world stuff, but and all the computers melting down. But I think the human spirit is rather tenacious and strong, and we have a desire to communicate who we are, and what
Right.
we're all about and
Right.
what's important.
You mean look at the bright side, right? I agree.
I mean, I agree. Well, we might even make a second episode of Secret Rooms. Our next episode is going to be about bridges and crossing bridges and making bridges. So we hope our listeners will hang around, and goodbye for now.
Yeah, and stay in your man cave.